Well, hello, City Point. It's Pastor Mike. Good to be with you today. Let me start a little song here. It's like a song I've been singing a lot, worshiping God with. I know we sing it, we know it. It's a song of deliverance from all my enemies. I'm no longer a slave. I am a child of God. No longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. Turn that down a little bit. I'll leave it in the background. So I want to read to you something out of Romans, the 8th chapter, from the Amplified. It says in verse 14, "For all who are allowing themselves to be led by the Spirit of God are sons of God." For all who are allowing themselves to be led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. Now think about that. For all of you who are giving yourself permission, allowing yourself to be led by the Spirit of God, you are the sons of God. For you have not received a spirit of slavery, again leading to fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption as sons, the Spirit producing sonship, by which we joyfully cry, "Abba, Father." That's so powerful. You've received a spirit of adoption. And from that adoption, our spirit cries out, "Abba, Father." Abba is like a pet name for the Father, like Papa. It's a really hard to define in the original, because the intent is to give you, like many of you have different pet names for your wife or your husband. And it was how you address the Father, because I know He's God and eternal Father and all of that, but like what do you call God when it's just you and Him and you're crawling up in His lap? I love when my granddaughter just crawls up in my lap and she says, "Hey, Poppy," because that's what she calls me, Poppy. I love that name. I know I'm Mike, I'm Pastor, I'm Mr. Hendon, but I love that name, Poppy. Man, when she says that name, it touches something in my heart. I just wonder if you realize just how, as a son and a daughter of God, when you crawl up in the Father's lap and you say, "Abba, Papa," whatever that name that resonates in you out of love. And here's what it says: "The Spirit Himself testifies and confirms together with our spirit, assuring us that we believers are the children of God." So I've had a lot of people tell me, when I ask them that question, let me turn this, and I say, are you born again? And they say, "Well, I hope so, I think so, maybe so." And here it says, if we are His children, that the Spirit testifies and confirms with our spirit, assuring us that we believers are the children of God. So there's an assurance. You just know. You know that you know. And if you don't know that you know, then you need to know. And the way that you know is that you confess and open your heart and invite Him in. And then the Spirit testifies and says, "Now you know." And so he goes on and talks about how that we share with Him as heirs of God, fellow heirs of Christ, that we share in His glory. And he goes on. I want to get down here. It's not, listen to this. It says, "For even the whole creation waits eagerly for the children of God to be revealed." So all of creation is waiting for the sons and daughters of God to be revealed, to be manifested. It's the idea of to show up. All creation is waiting for the sons and daughters of God to show up. Where are they? I don't know. They've been kind of hid. What's going to happen? They're going to show up. This revelation, the revelation of who God is and who we are in Him as the sons and daughters of God, is going and is in the process of being revealed. For the creation was subject to frustration and futility, not willingly because of some intentional fault on its part, but by the will of Him who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will also be freed from its bondage to decay and gain entrance into the glorious freedom of the children of God. Man, there's just so much freedom in the presence of God. And that's what God is leading us into, is freedom. And I know a lot of believers who say that they know God, that they love God, and that they're following God, and yet they're not free. And I have to ask the question, according to this word, that if we're following Him and He is revealing Himself in us, and we are being led by the Spirit of God, then He is bringing us into freedom. So let me ask you this question. Are you being led into freedom? Are you freer today than you were yesterday? Or are you getting more and more entangled with a yoke of bondage? And so that's a real question. We're going to kind of address that question Sunday, about freedom and about bondage and the plan of God to lead His children into glorious freedom. Because that's what God is after. He who the Son sets free is free indeed. And I think this is going to be an important message, an important time to allow the Spirit of God to minister to us and free us from things that we're entangled with, things that the enemy has tried to put on us, oppression that the enemy has tried to put over us, and anything that has tried to hinder us in our walk with God. And so I want to encourage you to be a part of Sunday. Now, there's some things going on this weekend. Tonight, Friday night, we're going to be at the Harbor Lighthouse Assembly of God in East Chicago with Pastor Moses and the crew, and doing a district-wide meeting there. It's going to be a great time with fellowship, worship, preaching, and food. In the morning, we have 10 o'clock prayer. Then at 11 o'clock, we're going over to the Mosley Hotel to do an outreach. And I want to encourage you to be led by the Spirit of God and come and be a part of this outreach. We were over there yesterday, and wow, what a field of harvest, where souls, over 200 people are staying in this hotel, and we're just praying that God will open up a door so we can minister life and hope and peace and salvation to a few people. So I've just encouraged you to be a part of that, in Sunday's services. And then Sunday night, we're having a special Thanksgiving time of praise and worship with the worship team. In lieu of our usual Friday night thing, we're going to do it Sunday night. It'll be just a time of just great worship, not inhibited, time restricted, no big agenda behind it. We're going to have a great time of worship. I'm going to encourage you to bring a special love offering. We're going to receive a love offering for the worship team. And when I say for the worship team, it's to buy some equipment and things, that the worship team has got a Christmas wish. And so you'll get to be a part. Hasn't the worship team been a blessing to you? And this is an opportunity for you to sow into the worship team and to bless them. And I'm just going to ask you to come prepared for that. And then we're going to hang out afterwards and have some pumpkin pie and coffee, maybe some apple pie, maybe some ice cream, maybe a chocolate chip cookie or two, maybe diabetes afterwards. But anyway, it's going to be a great time. I want to encourage you to be a part. I pray God will just continue to move and speak to people. God is really doing something significant, something powerful. He's doing something in raising up his house and his house of prayer in this region. We're just so thankful. I'm so grateful. I mean, I got so much to be thankful for coming into this Thanksgiving season, which is next week. But I've got so much to be thankful for. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for what the Lord is doing in you and in this church, through this church. I'm thankful for the team here that is just week after week just pouring it out and letting God use them. And I'm thankful for all that God is doing in our lives. And I just want to take that time Sunday night to join with you. I'm actually preaching at 4 o'clock in the afternoon over in Valparaiso for Bethel Valpo, which is meeting at Faith Church over off Sturdy Road. And then I'll be coming from there over to here for the 6 o'clock worship service. And I'm looking forward to spending time with the City Point family and just an all-out praise and thanksgiving, just a Holy Spirit party where we just drink from the fountain and just worship and have a time of great rejoicing. I believe you'll be blessed if you'll come out Sunday night. I want to encourage you to come out and be a blessing to the worship team and give your thanksgiving to God. Maybe we'll have an opportunity for some testimonies and stuff. But you come and be ready to bless and worship God, all right? God bless you. Have a good day.